stress incapacitates and kills. Around 75% of the adult population in the Western world experiences severe stress. Stress is a widespread condition with serious health and societal consequences. Millions of people die each year from stress-related illnesses. The good news is that stress can be effectively combated. I have personally experienced stress with panic attacks. I was prescribed medication which the doctor said I would likely need to take for the rest of my life, but I am now free of both the medication and the anxiety attacks. So, I know that the tools presented in this video are useful and effective. You will get 5 simple, effective tools to combat stress and restlessness. Tools that are easy to incorporate into your daily life. Are you ready for a healthier life and more joy? It will benefit both you and your loved ones when you take responsibility. So watch until the end of the video. Our daily lives in the modern world are filled with stress-inducing situations and tasks, in work, in personal life, and in the way we live our lives. In this video, I will share 5 easy habits I have used myself that effectively reduce the stress and anxiety we can be exposed to. And don't worry, I'm not talking about meditation, which can be very effective, but that will have to wait for a later video. Stress and the restlessness it can cause are natural things. It serves a purpose. When stress and restlessness arise, a series of complex processes occur in the brain. During these processes, the stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol are released. Adrenaline increases heart rate, blood pressure, and energy supply. Cortisol increases glucose in the blood and improves the brain's use of glucose. Cortisol also suppresses functions that are not necessary in a fight-or-flight situation. All of this prepares the body to fight or flee, to act. The problem is that many of the stressors we experience in the modern world are problems we can't solve physically. We can't fight physically and we can't flee from them. This means that we can't convert the increased amount of stress hormones into physical activity, fight or flight. So, the increased amount of stress hormones remains in the body and maintains a fight or flight state. This is where physical activity comes into play as the first habit that can be useful in combating stress and restlessness. While intense training, where your pulse really gets up, is the most effective, studies have shown that less can do the trick. Just 5 to 10 minutes of physical activity is beneficial, so go for a walk, ride your bike to work, or do some physical exercises at the office. This helps to lower the stress level immediately and will also improve your sleep quality. And good sleep is crucial in relation to stress and anxiety. The human brain hasn't changed significantly since prehistoric times. It is still designed for a rather simple reality: finding food and avoiding being killed by dangerous animals or human enemies. That was pretty much all that needed to be dealt with. Both were things we could act on. Today, it's different. A few decades ago, we weren't bombarded with news and information from around the world every minute. That's no longer the case. Now, we are presented with disasters and accidents from all corners of the world in a constant stream. This activates the brain's stress response as if we ourselves are in physical danger. The problem is, we have no physical way to do anything about the problems that come into our lives through TV and the internet. We have no means of action. That's why it's a good idea to look at how we use the media. If you start the day by watching 3 news channels or scrolling through your news feeds on social media for half an hour to feel updated, you are actually putting the start of your day in the hands of others. They decide how high your adrenaline level should be from the start of the day. That's not a good idea. Instead, you should start the day with something you choose and enjoy. We're skipping meditation in this video, but it could be an option. You can read a passage in a good book, write in a journal, pray if you are religious, do some gymnastics, or take a morning walk with the dog. Whether you have a dog or not, find a calm activity you enjoy and make it a way to start the day, every day. That way, you are the one who decides how the stress level should be set for the day. Not some news editor's selection of disasters you can't do anything about. Does that mean you shouldn't stay informed? Not at all. But it might be enough to check the news once a day. Breaking news is on around the clock. Feeling like you never get anything done can be a factor that triggers restlessness and stress. In our modern digital world, it can be hard to see progress on a larger project that may only exist on a PC. Here, checklists can be a great help. Break your project into smaller pieces where you can check off each time you have completed a small part. Checklists can also be used for practical daily tasks like doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, or washing the car. It creates a sense of calm to see physical progress on a piece of paper. So, my third tip: make checklists where you can see progress and completed tasks. Big or small, creates calm. Physical tasks like mowing the lawn, washing the car, or cleaning the windows can also help create calm. They use energy and burn adrenaline, and they are tasks where you can see a beginning and an end immediately. I was on sick leave for about 3 months from my job when I got stressed. Fortunately, that was possible in Denmark, where I lived at the time. Not everyone may have that option, but for me, it was important to plan my days so I wouldn't just end up lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling, and feeling sorry for myself. So, I made quite detailed plans for what I needed to do each day with times and small goals. It's important that the goals are not too ambitious. They need to be achievable and measurable. Could be taking walks every day, which I found very beneficial. In the beginning, the goal was just to get outside and start walking. Later, I set goals for how far I needed to walk. But it's crucial that the goals are attainable. In fact, I went from being completely out of shape to getting in quite good physical condition, but it took nearly 2 years to get there. So patience is advised. Bedtimes and wake-up times were the same every day. Morning and evening routines were important to me to start the day well and get the best sleep possible. We'll take a look at sleep as the last tip. Daily routines were also quite consistent, but gradually I introduced small variations. It was important for me that the days were predictable and structured. So my fourth tip here is plan your days. Say no to visits and events you can't handle. Plan to do some of the things you know make you happy. Do you draw? Or do other artistic activities? Do you like to read? Do you meditate? I love visiting museums and libraries, so those places got frequent visits from me. Keep the days manageable, structured, and consistent. The last way I will highlight here to reduce or avoid restlessness is as simple as getting enough good sleep. Can be difficult when the mind is restless. Insomnia is one of the signs of stress and restlessness. But there are many things you can do to promote good sleep. I have covered this in several previous videos, which I link to in the description below. But I will mention a few good tips that can promote sleep. Sleep at the same time every day. Go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. The body has an internal clock that gets disturbed if the time varies. Wind down slowly before bedtime. Don't eat too close to bedtime. Turn off all social media, computers, and TV. Turn off the phone, or if that's not possible, turn off all notifications, and place the phone away from your bed. Dim the lights well before bedtime. Sleep in complete darkness without screens, control lights, or other disturbing lights. Ventilate the bedroom if needed. Spend the last time before bed on something calm and pleasant. Could be writing in a journal, being grateful for the good things of the day, maybe writing them down in the journal, praying, reading something pleasant, listening to some relaxing music, or meditating. These were some of the ways I have used myself to reduce stress, restlessness, and anxiety. There are many more things you can do, but here I have tried to include some immediately applicable suggestions that have worked for me. Suggestions anyone can implement in their daily lives. Long walks, preferably in nature, have probably been the most important tool for me. One last important thing for me was that I could remove myself from what was causing me stress. My job. I returned briefly to work after about 2 months, but it didn't work out. The anxiety and stress quickly flared up again. In agreement with my employer, I got a different and less stressful job, which I held for about a year. During that year, I was on a full dose of medication, but after the year was up, I started tapering off, and 2 years after my first panic attack, I was completely off the medication. After that, I emigrated from Denmark and started a completely different life. But that's a whole other story. And that brings us to the end of this little video. Thank you for watching. If it has been helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. It's completely free for you. It will help me reach more people and create opportunities to make even better videos in the future.